There's no denying that Rick and Morty is currently one of the most absurd shows out there. The show takes several dark turns along the way, and isn't afraid to break through its own boundaries of weird and ridiculousness. With all the new crazy twists and turns in every episode, fans are always on their toes, with any changes being thrown their way. Let's take a look into any new alterations the writers have made, and whether they're going to stick around for the long run. First and foremost, let's get you acquainted with the show. Now, unless you're the most oblivious person on the planet, we're pretty sure you've heard of the show. If you're not exactly up to date with it, we've got you covered. The main characters are, obviously, Rick, the alcoholic, scientific genius, and his grandson Morty, a teenager who's just trying to navigate his way through the horrors of puberty. Pretty relatable, right? Nope. Together they go on near-death adventures and travel across parallel universes and dimensions to work their way out of problems they've created through their shenanigans. The show's main purpose is to make you laugh with its unique sense of humor and the absurdity of its storylines. The show explores several topics and isn't afraid to touch on some sensitive ones like death, addiction, identity, existential crisis, and depression, whether metaphorically or in a direct way. That's one of the things that makes the show stand out. It challenges stereotypes and isn't afraid to be vocal about such topics. One of the show's signature qualities is its philosophical explorations. The show has often been criticized for being too nihilistic as Rick, although being the smartest guy to ever live has come to terms with the fact that his actions have little to no impact and that his life is pretty much meaningless. For this reason, he's a pretty depressed dude and distracts himself from his thoughts by indulging in drugs, alcohol, and other weird delights. This show juggles alienism and anxiety perfectly with its crude humor, and that's exactly what makes casual watchers avid fans of the show, including us. Up next, let's look at the most recent happenings in the latest episodes. The 6th season of Rick and Morty has been nothing short of strange and uncanny plot lines. From dystopian Earths to clones, the writers never seem to fall short of new and even more bizarre plots to uncover. That's exactly what keeps the show so fresh and unpredictable. The fact that you can never guess what's coming around the corner. The most recent episode of Season 6, Episode 3, labeled Bethic Twinstinct, is a continuation of the trend from the previous season's Thanksploitation Spectacular of peculiar and weird Thanksgiving episodes. It showed the pair turning themselves into turkeys in order to receive the presidential pardon. They needed a ton of leniency after they caused a huge mess, which included Morty accidentally destroying the Liberty Bell, the Lincoln Memorial, and the Statue of Liberty, freeing an imprisoned robot while trying to steal the Constitution. If you thought that was a lot to swallow, wait till you hear about Season 6's holiday episode. It rivals the previous episode in terms of weirdness and references it with Rick coming back to his house as a turkey and declaring that they are once again in the federal clear. Trust us, we're just as shockingly amused as you are. The new episode majorly focuses on Beth falling in love with Space Beth, her clone, while Rick, Morty, and Summer try to distract themselves from the fact that the affair is happening. The weirdest part comes at the end of the episode as the three sit around the table, eating the Thanksgiving dinner in silence, all while hearing the two Beths and Jerry discussing their situationship, which eventually develops into a very noticeable and audible sexual encounter between the three. Awkward much? Finally, let's see if any of the changes are here to stick around. If you loved Space Beth's character, we have amazing news for you. The new episode confirms that the recent changes to the Smith family are here to stay. Rick originally cloned Beth so he could send her into space while keeping the other Beth at home. However, he could not prevent the two from the meeting. Continuing on with the previous Thanksgiving episode, Rick and Morty focuses solely on the newest addition to the family, Space Beth. Furthermore, fans can rest assured that she is here for a long time. This may very well have been one of those character introductions who appear in the show for one episode and are never seen again. However, Rick and Morty is no stranger to bringing back odd characters. Not to mention other Smith members like Summer and Morty's humongous incest baby, which have been referenced in more than one episode. The writers keep the characters relevant by mentioning them in between episodes, so it is evident that they don't plan on forgetting them anytime soon. They really know what they're doing. After the episode, Space Beth could have disappeared completely, as she returns to space. However, her connection with Beth is too strong for her to never be seen again. Not to mention, her character adds layers to the show and the dynamics of the Smith family, so keeping her permanently was definitely a smart move on the show's part. Now moving on to other news. First up, Rick and Morty takes a jab at Wonder Woman 1984 in the recent episode. Rick and Morty takes its third shot at the Warner Brothers franchise Wonder Woman. In the latest episode, Bethic Twinstinct, Space Beth and the original Beth have an affair during Thanksgiving. The rest of the family tries to keep Jerry from finding out about it, which would result in him having a complete breakdown. Unfortunately though, Jerry does find out about it and goes into potato bug mode, which is his coping mechanism to avoid matters he doesn't want to face. While explaining his weird defensive mode to the Beths, Rick manages to take a jab at Wonder Woman 1984 by saying that it was a cool power to have if Summer asks you what you thought of the movie. Don't get it? We got you. The joke here is that Wonder Woman 1984 failed to win over fans or critics of the original movie, and didn't really manage to even come close to the achievements of the original Wonder Woman. However, the movie, with its lesson on female empowerment, still has fans to defend it, much like Summer. Now, the new trailer confirms Rick Sanchez's addition to Multiverses. We're finally getting Rick in the game. Multiverses has shared the first footage featuring the highly anticipated drunk scientist from Rick and Morty. No specific release date has been given yet, but fans might not have to wait for much longer. The short trailer shows Rain Dog, the original character, being chased after by Wonder Woman. It shoots several projectiles at her, but they've deflected thanks to Rick's signature green portal. Then numerous Mr. Meeseeks appear through the portal to charge at the Rain Dog. Mr. Meeseeks are tall blue creatures that exist to serve a singular purpose before they disappear from existence. They will most likely be added to Rick's fighting style, with him summoning them from the portal where they attack the opponent and finish their one goal before they vanish. The trailer ends with Rick coming through the portal, giving us the first glimpse at how he will make an entrance into the game. Multiverses is a fighting game that provides crossovers featuring some of the most popular characters by Warner Brothers. Some of them include several DC superheroes, Looney Tunes characters, Steven Universe, and Iron Giant. It is one of the best fighting games with crossplay, and the recently updated version 1.02 has been released with new weapons and strategies for the characters. We can't wait for it to finally be launched. Lastly, Rick and Morty Season 6 fires up a classic sci-fi debate. The show just made things a lot more complicated. While it's no surprise that Rick and Morty toys with weird ideas and sci-fi conventions, the most recent one certainly left people scratching their heads. There's this well-known question: would you rather sleep with your clone or fight them? In Season 6, Episode 3, we see Beth sleep with, consider leaving Jerry for, and then ultimately participate in a threesome with her clone, Space Beth. This strange affair left many wondering, is it cheating if you sleep with yourself? That's a tricky question, since Space Beth and Beth exist as two different characters, defined by their individual personalities. Adding on to that, no one really knows which one of them is the original Beth, so one could argue that technically Jerry was cheating too. Jerry originally freaked out, but ultimately he gets to terms with it as long as he is a part of it. Mind you, after he has a mental breakdown. In the end, all three of them became involved in the affair, which may very well be the best outcome of this messy situation. That's all for today, folks. What are your thoughts on Space Beth becoming a permanent member of the family? And do you think this will drive a wedge in Beth's and Jerry's relationship? Let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can stay up to date with the latest news. Till next time!